Hey guys, and welcome to the April Stories vlog. Yay! I don't think I have any admin things to be telling you this month, so I guess we're just gonna go straight into it. I have some things to tell you about audiobooks, and they're not particularly good things. I started listening to The Night Circus. I don't know if I told you last time, but I started listening to The Night Circus and I wasn't a massive fan. I couldn't really get into it. I'm a little bit disappointed because I think I would have really enjoyed it, and now that I've listened to some of the audiobook, I probably won't pick up the book, but I did not enjoy the audiobook at all. I found it really hard to follow, especially with such a high fantasy. It was just not really for me. I started listening to Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman, and I was really enjoying it. I was maybe only 2 hours in, it was only like 6 hours long. I was really enjoying it, and then for some reason my app that I use, just connected to my local library, locked me out. So I'm gonna go and try it and get that checked out if I have time, but if not, I've been listening to some podcasts. I'm re-listening to some Night Vale. I can't really remember where I'm up to be honest. I'm up to The Retirement of Pamela Winchell. I used to listen to it obsessively, as you guys on the channel probably know if you've been around for a while. I used to really love Night Vale, and then I kind of fell out of it a little bit, and I started listening to a few more episodes, and I was like, this is amazing, why did I forget how amazing this was? So I'm re-listening to some of it. I'm also re-listening to some Dear Hank and John. Most of this I've already listened to, but that is kind of replacing the noise that I would have listened to when I had an audiobook on. I got my library card back, which means I'm back on audiobooks. I have been enjoying re-listening to Welcome to Night Vale, the podcast, but what I wanted was audiobooks. So unfortunately all of my old reservations were cancelled because I started listening to The Handmaid's Tale, and I've re-reserved some of the older books that I was listening to, and I really want to keep reading Norse mythology, but I don't think I'm going to be able to the end of May, which is really annoying. Before Endgame comes out, I've been trying to rewatch all of the Marvel MCU. I didn't need to say Marvel MCU, that wasn't a sentence. I don't know, rewatch all of the MCU in chronological order. So I've just finished phase 1. I am 3 movies into phase 2. I'm not going to give you a detailed review of all these movies because there is so many of them. If you guys want more of my opinions on the Marvel Universe, then let me know, because I really like Marvel, and it's a thing that I don't really talk about that much. I watched Captain America 1, Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Thor, Hulk, I know. I even watched Hulk. And then I watched Iron Man 3, Thor Dark World, and I'm halfway through Winter Soldier right now. Iron Man universe is still really good. Iron Man 3 is still fantastic. Hulk is still kind of awful. The first Avengers is not one of my favourite. I did watch the first Avengers. I'm missing some off this list. And the first Avengers, I'm not a massive fan of. It was okay. I liked Loki. Loki's really cool. I really like the Thor ones, and I really like the Captain America ones. If you ask me to pick between, I think Thor and Captain America might be my 2 favourite at the moment. So still watching Glow Up. I've watched the recent episode, would still recommend. It's still really fun. It's still really fun to see people's creative processes, especially when they're things that I'm like, I couldn't do that, but I could maybe pretend to do something similar. 2 YouTube videos to recommend to you guys. The first one is called Why Tucker Carlson Pretends to Hate on the Elite. It's a Vox video. Before you guys go, oh Vox, they do some interesting political videos. I know they're really extreme and left-wing, and you have to be really careful when you're watching them, but this one had a very interesting message, and it had an idea in it which I don't really think about that much, because actually has quite a large effect in my life. The video is, I don't even know what it's called. I think it's called If Bollywood Songs Were Rap by Lily Singh. I've watched it so many times since it come out, and like, she talks about her sexuality, which she's never really spoken about before, apart from very briefly in a blog and in a tweet once. But now she's written a whole song about it. She does a bit about mental health, and she does a bit about feminism, and all 3 of them are incredible. As I am reporting on most things that I watched this month, I thought it was important to mention this thing that I've been watching for the past couple of hours, which is not as fun, but it is the fire in Notre Dame. I am devastated To be completely honest, it is somewhere that I've wanted to go, and now that doesn't look like it's going to be an option. 850 years of history has just burnt down in the last couple of hours. Hopefully a slightly less depressing update than yesterday, but basically I'm here to talk to you about some of the Marvel films that I've watched. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, I watched Age of Ultron, I watched Ant-Man, Civil War and Homecoming. I'm making good headway on this, doing them all before Endgame thing. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, both absolutely fantastic. Guardians of the Galaxy 1's very, very slightly better, but not. They're both great. Age of Ultron is not my favourite. It's a little bit convoluted in places, but I like the relationship dynamics in it. Ant-Man, the ants freak me out. But apart from that, I really like it. I really like him. I really like the concept. I really like the Tinyverse. I want to know more about it. War is really, really good. A lot of fan service. Not the most intellectual of the Marvel movies. Not that all the Marvel movies are like that intellectual, but I'm here for it. Then I watched Spider-Man Homecoming for the first time. Now, I went in with very, very, very high expectations for this, because so many people have bigged it up so much. It was not as high as my expectations. I enjoyed it. It really sucked me in places. I haven't got the video up, and I am currently uploading a video, so I can't show you it right now, but a YouTube video I would like to recommend is Things About Relationships I Wish Someone Had Told Me by Jaden Animations. I think it is an important thing for a lot of people to watch, because yeah, maybe it can help you recognise if you're in an abusive or manipulative relationship, or if you're in a toxic relationship, both like with a partner and with a friend. I didn't watch it and realise this before any of you start going off in the comments, but I think it has some very useful pointers as to how to recognise it. Marvel movie watching update. I watched Doctor Strange, which I really, 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 really love. I kind of didn't like it as much the first time I saw it. I think it was one of those movies where I was just like processing everything that was happening and watching it back again. Really like it. I think he's maybe one of my favourite characters. I watched Black Panther and I was disappointed. Everyone was saying that it was so good and all of that, and I didn't massively connect with any of the characters. I didn't think the plot was massively great. I thought there was a lot of like unnecessary political commentary. Not that I think the political commentary was unnecessary. I think the things that they were saying were necessary, but I don't think it was necessary in a Marvel movie. And I've just finished watching Ant-Man and the Wasp for the first time. I also watched Thor Ragnarok in there somewhere. The Thor series might be one of my favourites. I really enjoyed the whole thing. I enjoyed rewatching it. I don't really like Thor that much as a character in the Avengers, but I really like that series. Just watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I like Ant-Man as a character. I'm not massively into the plot of these movies, like the whole like sort of quantum stuff. I want to know more about the dynamics of the Tinyverse, but I don't massively like the plot of these movies, but I like him. I watched Avengers Infinity War. I've finished rewatching all of the Marvel movies. I really like Infinity War. The first time I watched it, I was kind of a little bit like overwhelmed by everything that was going on, because like so many different characters and it goes all over the place so much. So many people afterwards were saying that they felt the same way, that I'd kind of convinced myself that that's what I felt. After watching it again though, I did enjoy it. I kind of got over the fact that it was like a little bit all over the place, and yeah, got to enjoy it a little bit more, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Endgame now. I have a lot to tell you in the way of books. The first one is that I finished The Territory Truth by Sarah Govert, which means I finished this series. It was a very rapid wrap-up of the book. It concluded itself really quickly, but I quite liked it. I think it was a little bit optimistic. Like, all of a sudden, everything seemed to be fine, which was a little bit much, I think, a little bit, I don't know, over-ambitious for what she thought the revolution was trying to do. Not so subtle, interesting political commentary, which I enjoyed, because you don't see that very much in YA books, especially dystopian books, where there's definitely room to be making relevant political commentary rather than just vague, overarching statements, which a lot of them do. I went to Preston for a week and read White Crow. I pretty much read the whole thing in like 2 days. It was not a difficult read. I spilled a whole can of Diet Coke on it though, so that's fun. Yeah, it was fun. It was really easy to read. It wasn't particularly complicated. it wasn't, it felt like it was building up to the very last sentence. It felt like the whole book was a very slow burn build up to the very last sentence, which was kind of disappointing. I kind of wanted a little bit more of an exploring of the idea that was implied in the last sentence, because like I had a lot of questions, and they weren't like, oh god, what's happening, letting me think, like questions. They were like, I want to know what happens. I don't know if this is maybe the first book in a series. I started reading A Scanner Darkly by Philip K. Dick, and I'm not enjoying it as much as 200 Dreams of Electric Sheep, which in partly I'm like, yeah, that should have been expected, and then the other half of me is like, I'm a little bit disappointed. So like, yeah, maybe I should have expected that it wasn't going to be as good as that like really famous, like famously good book. On the other hand, I'm like, I've just read this book and now I want this to be as good as it, but I don't think it's going to be. It looks quite short, but I think it's going to take me a while to read. It's taken me maybe 2 hours to read these 50 pages, so it's quite a thick book, quite dense. Apart from this fictional drug, it is yet to have any sci-fi elements. I'm making progress with A Scanner Darkly by Philip K. Dick. I am on page 67. A little bit disappointed because I loved Joanne Shaw's Dream of Electric Sheep so much. And this one's a little bit disappointing. But I'm not giving up on it yet. I'm going to read this book. I don't think this book's ever going to get close to living up to that, to like Androids. I'm going to read this one and then maybe try another one and see if anything else lives up to it. Maybe he was just kind of... I don't think he was a one-hit wonder because he's so famous and because he's written so many other famous works. But after I've read this, I might have a little bit lower expectations for the other books. Scanner Darkly update. I am 120 pages in. I'm not really enjoying it. Yeah, if you're expecting it to be anything like Androids, you're going to be disappointed. There's almost no sci-fi element to it, which I'm a little bit annoyed about because it is in the Sci-Fi Masterworks series. It is a political commentary on drugs. That seems to be all it is. Like, nothing's really happened. There hasn't really been much of a plot so far. It's just been sort of like this guy's life. I have made rubbish book progress this month. I had like 3 books to tell you about all at once, and then I've just been reading A Scanner Darkly for the rest of the month. But I'm hoping to finish it probably today. I've got a train to catch later, and I'm hoping to finish it on a train. But you guys will see in the next vlog. So yeah, stay tuned for that. It will come out on the last Wednesday of next month, like all of these do. In the meantime, check out the videos that I have posted. I post like makeup videos. I've got some archaeology videos planned, like as usual. If you have any requests or questions, then leave them down in the comments. New videos every Wednesday. Like and subscribe and all that jazz, and I'll see you next week.